Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the first episode of Sweatlords in like a fucking month. We got here some, I think, all familiar faces, all very sweaty boys, per usual. Evan's hair is freaking majestic, true.
I get sweaty easily.
Yeah.
Dude,
Dude,
can you imagine the back of your neck right now? Oh.
Pasty White Guys, the movie. Damn. True, but holy shit.
True.
The podcast. Isn't that just implicit in every podcast? Like, it's probably just some variety of white dudes. Most of them.
Tan from the light from my monitor.
Get one of them UV monitor displays.
Yeah.
You think you get a tan from the monitor? I'm sitting here with bright lights in front of me. You guys all get to be in dark rooms. I like the darkness. I like existing in the darkness. The only time there's lights on in this room are like, well, I like having the window open like during the day when there's sun, but at night I'm like almost no light in here, which I know is bad for your eyes, but it's kind of just the way I exist. Everything is lit by string lights basically. But yeah. That's kind of
Edison bulbs in there to tie the room together.
Yeah, true.
Now we're really on some white girl shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you got I got my flag in the background with my string lights surrounding it. But yeah, everyone has a blurry background except for me. I didn't even notice that.
I don't want you to see my apartment.
Evan is trying to keep the literal trash in his background hidden.
Yeah, look at my boxes. Look!
Behold, my stuff.
Evan, the best thing about your
base.
blur is that it blurs evering except for the mess you have on your floor.
I know, like
yeah,
the one
the
box
boxes
in the
are still in
background
focus. True.
Let me put it back. See if it's still. Yeah, the box. It's still
it's perfect. Look at
That's
my
all you
garbage.
need. I mean, this channel is literally called Dumpster Man, so nobody I think should have any problem with seeing trash. They
If
all
anything, we should
they look
be
at me
putting
every
more garbage on the floor.
yeah. I think maybe people come into my.
Now.
There you go. That's good. I wonder if maybe people come into my stream like expecting it to be like overtly trash themed, but all I really have is like the dumpster intro and outro, and that's really it.
You ever thought about doing a dump truck review?
I kind of thought about doing it for
what
tier
kind of
list.
dump truck.
Well, I mean, not like that.
dump truck tier list.
Damn it.
Top
I'd
10
watch
dumpies.
Top 10 dumpies. I did think about doing like an April Fool's prank, which is literally now not tomorrow but 2 days, where I actually just review dumpsters for my YouTube channel. But I've just been too busy. Like this is my last week at my current job, and I just have been like I've had no time to do anything. I want to do like more shit like that, but yeah, just got life shit going on. So
change all of the channel music to municipal waste.
there you go. Get DMCA'd immediately.
Trash bands, yeah.
It's funny because like you would think a band like Municipal Waste, like the last thing they would probably care about is DMCAing some random like YouTuber or Twitch streamer. But whatever fucking label owns that shit is like probably just has it registered in some system. I hate how that works because so many bands you would think would just like would love the exposure of like streamers playing their music.
Sure.
But yeah, it just is what it is. You can't really play anything that's made by an artist that charges money for it.
It's flagged when we upload it onto our official YouTube channel.
Yeah, do you use
because
like
the publisher like flags it immediately, and it's like it's us.
Yeah, if you
made
upload it to what is it, like TuneCore or something, one of those services, it just immediately gets added into one of those databases, and then it gets flagged as soon as it gets uploaded. It's crazy. And it's annoying that it ends up not doing anything good for like the actual creators of the music. Like it pretty much only harms them. What's going on with everyone? How you guys doing? What are you guys up to?
Nerd shit.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that before we went live, but
I won't bore anybody listening, but it's
sat in the lab with computers and beeping lights for like about 13 hours today.
Holy shit.
It's cool.
Did you worked like an actual 13-hour day, or?
I mean, that was a slight exaggeration. It was more like 11, but
I mean, that's still fucking sucks, dude.
Still a long one.
That still fucking blows.
I brought some stuff home last night and was working on that too. So it's like,
Yeah.
just trying to get shit done before they take away our hardware. But
When I still worked in an office, I had no problem doing like 11, 12-hour days, and then
In
I
the
started
office?
working from home.
that's just the
Yeah,
thing. It's like
because
a
like
room with no windows and no doors, and like you just
You lose all
tunnel vision.
concept of time.
yeah,
I didn't
well,
have any. I didn't have
it's
any
like,
problem doing jail until I started doing jail from home.
it's like a mentality thing where it's like this is the place where I do work, and like I don't really want to be here, but I'm getting paid to be
Mm.
here. But when I'm home and I'm like literally sitting at the place that I can do whatever the fuck else I want, then it gets harder to work all day because I'm
Yeah.
in like
True.
this is my fun zone as well. So
Yeah. I
Are you
kind of.
100% work from home, Parker?
I technically still have an office space that I currently can't return to.
Mm.
But I'm getting like a PC and everything in the office, and I'll probably never use it. I'll probably go in if I need to work on blueprints or something, but that's it.
Right.
Mm. Yeah.
My work
I
ordered me a laptop about a year ago, and it's still not here. So
What?
That's fun. Yeah.
Damn.
Wait. Who did they order from? That's what I want to know.
It's just like an existing contract with
Oh.
like it's one of those things where it gets caught up in red tape and then
Through GSA.
yeah, basically.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's some other program that then buys it from GSA, but
Oh, okay.
Because I was gonna say
So
we ordered laptops from Dell last year, and we got like they took longer to get there, but we got them. Like,
yeah, no, they like have these at Best Buy. Like we could go and buy them, but we
yeah,
have to buy it through this specific line of
That's-
contracts to use it.
that's crazy.
So that's
Yeah,
and then
we
they just
still
gave
have
me the
option-
desktop that happened to have 128 gigs of RAM and a 3080 in it. It's like,
What the
Hell
fuck?
yeah. Nice.
why didn't you just give me that right away?
Yeah.
That'd be perfectly
What the
set.
hell?
Yeah.
Gonna run some good sims on that for sure.
It's a dummy thick machine.
Yeah, I bet.
Jeez.
But yeah, I kind of agree with what you were saying, Parker, to the extent that it was easier to like compartmentalize work when I was like working in an office, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, it was easier for me to be like, yeah, I could squeeze in an extra hour today when I'm at home because like I'm at home, like I don't have to go anywhere,
What-
like I'm
yeah,
in the
what
place
happens
that I
to
work
me-
already.
What happens to me sometimes when I'm at home is I'll work one day like super long, and then like once because I don't have to work Fridays. I kind of do, but like not really. So once Friday comes around, if I had 40 hours at like 11 a.m., like I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm taking the day off, and then
Yeah, hell yeah.
that's kind of. I used to work much more overtime, but I don't need the money right now, and yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't get paid for overtime at my current job that I'm about to leave, which so like doesn't matter, but yeah.
How you feeling about that? You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I like the nice thing is that I'm gonna do a little bit of work with the company that I work for currently, just in like a freelance capacity. And not only that, but like I'm not like financially I'm in a good enough like situation that I don't really need to worry about like having a like 40-hour a week like full load of work right away, so I can work on like building up the stuff that I want to work on and stuff like that. And yeah, and I'm not obviously quitting to do this full time, but like the YouTube is doing really well right now. So it'll be cool to like just have a little more time on my hands to like pour into that. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Be interesting to see what happens.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, right now feeling good because I was just dealing with some bullshit at work today. So yeah, I'm not gonna miss that. Today was like a slap in the because I had like a pretty good week, and everyone's being really nice to me because they're like, oh, like we're gonna miss you and stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
yeah. I'm like, there's kind of definitely stuff that like. It sucks to be leaving behind about working in an office, especially one where I like my coworkers and I don't mind like going into the office. And but then today I just got hit with some bullshit that I was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm leaving. And yeah, not much more than that need be said. I was kind of just over it at this point, ready to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good
Like
that you're
my
able to
job-
keep some ties, and they'll,
Yeah.
didn't burn bridges where they can hire you for contract work.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, it's good that you'll still have work now, but you'll be flexible.
Yeah, way more flexible, which is what I wanted
Yeah.
more than anything. Just because I have like I've always been this way, like for my whole life. Just have my fingers in a bunch of different things. Like even all throughout college, I was like doing the band and stuff like that too. And like, so it's just, but when I started working full time, like 40 hours a week, I just got burned out really fast because I didn't feel like I could do the other stuff that I wanted to do. And so now I can kind of like chase more things and like use more of like my skills to hopefully like build work in a variety of fields. This sounds like a fucking job interview. Do you guys want to talk about video games or memes or something? No, I'm kidding.
Go back to talking about dump trucks.
Yeah.
This is an interview for being Chris Rock's bodyguard.
Oh my god. Do we actually want to talk about that? It wasn't even really on my list to talk about. But
I think that's just been talked to death about.
I
like-
think
like
millionaires
I think
fighting
it's
each
funny.
other on stage is funny. That's
Yeah,
my
that's-
like
that's
official
it.
stance on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think it's
actually think the
fucking
joke.
dumb.
I think the joke wasn't all that funny, and it also wasn't all that bad. The funniest thing was like what ensued afterwards.
Yeah, the
My
shit
favorite
storm
part
on
was-
social media.
Will Smith laughed initially, and like everyone around him is laughing, and then he like looked at
His
his
wife, like,
who was,
glared at him.
scowling,
No.
and he just goes, it's like, and then that was it. He's like, I gotta
So
go fucking
bad.
slap this guy.
Yeah,
That was, like,
it's
the
crazy.
most, like pure little dick energy thing ever.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, I mean,
It's
yeah.
it's kind of unbelievable. Like I'm going to be honest with you right now. I didn't really care about Will Smith before this, and I still don't really
No.
care about Will Smith.
No, I
This
mean,
hasn't meaningfully changed my opinion on Will Smith, but like I don't understand why people are defending him. Like it's like
I haven't really seen as much of that.
I have
people
seen
defending
enough
him.
of it that
Yeah.
I'm like I don't get this.
His wife's name Jada or Jada?
Jada, yeah.
I think it's
Jada?
Jada, yeah.
Yeah.
Jada.
Yeah, Jada.
So somebody post something that was like, Jada's gonna let him watch So Hard tonight.
Holy shit, that's incredible.
So mean.
Yeah.
She like fuck around with like a dude that was in like high school or young. Not like
It,
I'm not trying to slander her, but
I don't know.
oh,
Well,
she-
oh
she
yeah,
was
I'm sure
fucking
she
around with
really
other dudes, I
cares
know
about
that.
4 white dudes on a podcast with 7 viewers currently. His opinion.
I'm gonna get slapped by Will Smith.
Yeah, he's on his way. He's on his way.
Show up
You're
at my
knocking the
apartment.
We're about to get fucked.
Oh yeah, it's
Ooh,
tornado
you're-
time.
Oh,
That red is
Oh.
like, yeah, it's
oh,
there.
yeah.
Cam just put in the Discord that he lost power and he asked me if I still had it. So I'm like,
Well, if you do lose power, I'll pull Garrett out of Elden Ring and into the podcast.
okay.
No, I'm just
It's
kidding.
subbed in.
I'm just kidding.
So,
God, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like what one person told. Oh, he's here. Hey, Garrett.
it'd
What-
actually be funny as shit if like a tree branch flew through my window, like behind me.
that would be incredible. That would be the greatest thing to ever happen on this podcast. But yeah, like between those two things, one person told a bad joke, and I don't even know. Like, I feel like joking about like alopecia, which people are making it sound like it's like cancer or something. It's just baldness.
it's
it's just
not.
baldness.
It's literally
Right.
just baldness.
People are making it seem like it's the worst thing ever. And not only that, but like she probably made 6 figures just sitting there. Like who cares? She's fucking rich. How are you going to feel bad for someone like that?
Yeah, in that kind of room, there's really no such thing as punching up or punching down.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a bunch of famous rich people.
And not only that, but if anything, Will Smith to Chris Rock is punching down. Like,
quite literally.
well, yeah, but also Will Smith has to be like one of the richest, most famous people on the planet.
Oh,
so
He is one of the biggest actors like in history. So yeah, Chris Rock's just
I shouldn't say richest people on the
Comedian
planet, but
legacy.
in that realm of things.
yeah.
Not to put on the tinfoil hat too hard, but like also they're both professional actors, right? Like so,
Yeah,
this could be like I didn't even know the Oscars.
there
were
are
happening.
rumors, yeah, that it was like a stunt.
Like,
it would seem a little bit. Someone put it well when they were like to all the people who think that this was fake. Imagine the Oscars purposefully doing anything cool, like something
that's a
like
good
that.
point.
It's like yeah, it's just like it's probably not fake, but it is just unbelievably hilarious.
I guess that kind of puts it in a different context too. Like, is that kind of helps to explain the the reactions of everybody in the room. They just kind of like, oh, okay. Like
I think it was just so
everybody
like
was thinking,
unbelievable.
Like, is this a bit? Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Whack.
The best part about it is that the freeze frame of like Will Smith with his hand like across Chris Rock's face and him just like doing like a comical head tilt is like it's such a perfect meme format. Like you almost couldn't stage something better than that.
Dude, the form on that slap was just
yeah.
He got like a good hip turn in there too. Like really powered through it. Good follow through.
Chris Rock played it off well too. He's just was like, Will Smith like just slapped the shit out of me. Which is like probably the funniest words ever uttered.
Oh man.
And his voice too. It's like
it's Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Something he would say in fucking Rush Hour.
Can we have you and your GF reenact it just for good measure? That would be an incredible meme format. Just Britta slapping the shit out of me. Either that, or do you mean me going to slap Chris Rock?
I was gonna say
which I'll do it. I'll do it for 10 gifted. I'll go find Chris Rock and slap him.
I thought you meant Britta.
No. It's
like other way around, it's a good way to get banned off of Twitch.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Dumpster Man just slapped the shit out of me, dude. Is Chris Rock on like Fiverr or what is it, Cameo? I just pay him to say Dumpster Man just slap the shit out of me, and then like I'll green screen myself like into that.
You bet that would be the best move for him right now. He could charge so much fucking money.
I feel like you hit a certain point where you're like too famous to be on Cameo, right? Like you rake in like way too much money just by existing to need to like voice random crap for people.
None of them, I don't think, really needed to be on it anyway. It was just kind of a way to stay relevant during the pandemic.
Not none of them. I mean, there's people like Shoe Nice on there.
That's what I'm saying. The big ones, like the really famous ones.
Okay, so
Chris Rock is not on Cameo.
Yeah, that's what Britta
said.
One
thing that showed up. One thing showed up for Will Smith, and it was this page called Will Smith Lookalike, and it's literally just a black guy. Like, he doesn't look like Will Smith. He doesn't look a thing like him.
I didn't realize how different Chris Rock looks, and that dude got old. When did that happen?
Really, he kind of just still looks the same, just like a little more gray to me.
I feel like he became a little bit Cuban.
What? Okay. I don't have opinions. I don't have strong.
Mark Cuban on here?
I don't see Chris Rock often enough to like have opinions on how he's changed over time.
Well, I mean, last time I saw him, it was Rush Hour. Like
that is a while. Wait,
that was like 30 years ago.
Are you sure you're not? Hang on. He's not in Rush Hour.
Wait, that is Chris Rock, right?
No, that's Chris
you're thinking
Tucker.
of Chris Tucker.
Oh shit! They're like this. They have like the same voice.
They don't even look similar. Okay, they look a little similar, but not super similar. Oh my god, Parker's gonna get canceled. True.
Oh, dude, Brett Favre
they have like
is
the
on
same sense
Cameo?
of humor, though.
Brett Favre is on Cameo.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he needs the money.
Yeah.
No.
He just, I mean, like, why though? I feel like you wouldn't get a very enthusiastic video out of Brett Favre.
No, Brett Favre's definitely phoning it in.
Yeah.
My biggest worry about Brett Favre is like he had the football career, he had the like the fucking jeans. What are the jeans? The ones that
Wranglers.
Yeah, he was like the Wrangler spokesperson for the longest time. Why the fuck is that man on Cameo? He should be rolling in it. What is he doing with his money?
I'll be honest,
maybe he's bored.
He looks drunk.
He looks
in these videos. He's got like red flushed face.
Nah, you know what though? He's always looked like that. I'm not saying he's not drunk, but like being a Packers fan growing up, he has always looked like that.
Doesn't make sense when he was playing, but
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Brett Favre, never struck me as being like the brightest individual.
I think there's something to be
rattled
said
around
for
a lot.
head trauma. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was definitely less in the era of quarterbacks not like being able to get knocked around so much because that
Right,
now it's like
yeah.
there's not really like you can still get hit pretty hard, but there's not really too much of a concern.
Yeah.
Anyways, we can stop the sports ball talk. there was people in my Discord. There was like a poll on Twitter or something where it was like if you could delete one sport from existence, what would it be? And so many people voted American football, which I assume was like mainly people like that don't live in America, don't watch football, but like but that was like the number one choice by far, and everyone in my Discord was like rip bozo. I was like, damn, that's like the only sport I like. American football is the best sport on earth. You're goddamn right. There's my one viewer that likes American football. Also, coincidentally, a great band.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with the sport, but fantastic.
So is
band.
modern baseball.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's
I
Chinese
always want to
football
call
as well.
it American baseball.
Is Chinese football a band?
Yeah, it is. They're actually not bad.
And they're not related in any way to American football. They're not like an all Chinese like American football cover band.
An all
No,
Chinese
no,
Midwestern emo band.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain they are directly inspired though.
Okay, I
That's
gotcha.
a
I
surprise,
gotcha.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that whole genre really kind of be like that.
Yeah.
Like professional shuffleboard. I'll have to check that
Holy
out, I
shit.
suppose. You about to get hit by the.
Oh shit!
My house
yeah,
is
I'm
literally
getting some-
shaking. That's fucking scary. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
You guys
What are you
are like 1,000 miles
pee.
away from each other. Why are you both looking out your window and being like, "Oh yeah"?
It's raining for me, and it's
Okay.
it's coming north, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, it goes all the way up to Lafayette. Yeah, it's the same system, just going like
Yeah.
straight north.
Dox me.
Evan literally
I
held
mean,
up his phone with like the
I know,
place
yeah,
that he
I
lives
was-
in.
I was gonna
Honestly.
say-
All the
It
way
was
up to,
blurry as
Gary.
fuck, but
It's like, yeah, I
All the
live
way
in
up to
Nashville.
Gary. Yeah, I live in Gary.
yeah.
Didn't Michael Jackson grow up there? He's like the guy from Gary that made it out of Gary,
Gary.
Indiana.
You're thinking of Scary Terry.
Scary Terry from Gary.
No, yeah, he is from
getting better.
Gary. He's like the only thing putting Gary on the map, as far as I'm concerned, other than like just having to drive I-94 through it. Or
I can't
I-90,
say I have
I-90.
I have personally been to Gary, Indiana, and have been to a gas station there.
I think
Yeah, I
I think that's a
drive through there a
shared
lot.
It was a
experience with
mistake.
all Americans who have taken a road trip ever.
They ended up
I know a
somehow
guy
in
that
Gary.
I know a guy that got pulled over in Gary for stopping at a stop sign at night, and the cop pulled him over and walked up and was like, "When the sun goes down, don't stop at stop signs. You just slow down." And
It's
he's like,
that
"Okay."
bad?
Oh yeah.
My impression of Gary was that like pretty much like everyone left. Like
It depends on where you are.
it's declined in population by like 300% or something like that. Like, or I'm sorry,
What?
not 300% because then it would literally have negative
It's
people.
just a void, a black hole. This sucks people.
That's where they all went.
Just start
It's a giant
spitting them
sinkhole
out.
to the center of the earth.
If you try to go to Gary, yeah, it's like it's sucking them from somewhere else and just spitting them out. No, not 300%, but like, you know what I mean. Like,
A lot.
yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's 1/3 of what it used to be, basically. That was what I meant. But yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't exclude it from being dangerous. But I'm just like, if there's no people, how's it dangerous?
Yeah.
Gary's been getting better, and it's only because either everyone left or died. That's Gary.
We've talked about Gary, Indiana on this podcast before. Why am
Have
I like
we?
having deja vu about this? I think we have.
It's always in my peripheral vision. It's too close to me to not think about it. Like,
Indiana is just a state with like 3 cities right next to each other, and that's it.
They're all following each other around in a
Gary's
circle.
part of Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, it pretty
I'm
much
not-
is. It pretty
we
much
don't count
is.
that as part of Indiana. It's not our fault they're that way.
Well, I don't think Chicago wants it either.
No. But yeah, when I drive through there and stop at gas stations, there's always like 3 cops and like no one else in sight. It's like the population of Gary is now just cops and people hiding from the cops. That's why the population count's so low. There's actually a ton of people there.
They're just hiding. They're all hiding. That's where they send
They don't
people in
answer the
witness
census.
protection program.
Oh my god. Have you guys had the census people actually like come and bother you because you didn't answer it?
No.
I didn't answer the
Me-
census last time and they came and like knocked on my door.
I don't
They're
think
like, "How
I've
many people
ever
live
answered
here?"
the
I'm like, "One."
census.
They came to our apartment actually, on campus.
Oh, our
Like, the
apartment where we
on-campus
lived?
apartment we lived in, yeah. They came and asked like me and John about.
Oh, and you
who
just
lived there.
answered. Oh, and
Yeah.
then Britta said I
Yeah.
answered the census for us. I'm just a census dodger, you know. I'm like I see them coming and I'm like out the window.
It was annoying. It was like the middle of the workday. I had like a meeting in 5 minutes, and she's like, "Oh, you do this." I'm like, "Go away! You're at my domicile. I don't have to answer you."
Stop
What is
harassing
the
me.
line from what is the line from Breaking Bad?
This is a
This is a
private domicile.
Oh, and I will not be
I will
harassed.
not be harassed.
Oh my god.
But it's funny when you live alone answering the census, because like they're like, "How many people live here?" And they're like, "One." And then they're like, "Does anybody that lives here like this?" And I'm like, "I'm the only one. Just ask me if I do it." It's too too many questions. Are there any women here? Like, no.
Are there any women here?
Somebody just
Okay, wait, real
somebody
quick.
just fell over in my kitchen when I said that.
Here's the Will Smith lookalike for stream. I'll send it in our Discord too. It doesn't really look like him.
That's
It's not like the
Dollar
worst
General
I've
Will
ever
Smith.
seen, but yeah.
There's one picture
Wish
that's
Will
much worse,
Smith.
like where he's like,
Wait, where is that? Oh, it's a new Twitch.
it's the
Those
cameo.
sunglasses
Oh yeah,
too,
sorry, I can
Those
I
cost
can
$1
repost
as
it.
well.
I'll repost it here. There you go. I posted it in our Discord as well. Bill Swift. That's fucking incredible. That's so funny. Oh man. Wow. Anyways,
It's funny.
The fuck was that?
house coming down?
Yeah, I guess.
I
I think it was my trash can out the front.
Imagine it just flies
Go,
through the window.
Be free.
Oh, I should have brought that inside. What am I thinking?
Imagine it flies through the window. It just wants to join the podcast. It just wants to
What
come
up,
join its
Daddy?
people.
Here, there's some trashy boys in here.
All right, I had a couple topics I wanted to talk about. I know. I think me and Parker are the only ones playing Elden Ring, so I won't dwell on that one for too long. But there was some sort of outside of like the realm of the game. There was some like hilarious things that happened in terms of just like the discussion of that game since we last talked about it. First of all, Parker, did you beat the game? Are you done with it?
Yeah, I beat it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I am not even close. I still have a fuck ton left to do, I think. I'm probably I'm well over halfway at this point, but I'm still like I got easily like in the ballpark of probably like 20 to 40 hours remaining. Like it is a fucking long game, and I can't believe we sat down and talked about it for 2 hours while like collectively being like 20% through the game, like each of us.
It took me almost 200 hours to complete one playthrough.
God damn.
That is fucking insane.
That's a lot. For how long has it been out?
It's been like a month now.
Oh, okay.
Over a
Oh,
month even.
Yeah. I mean, I finished it yesterday. I didn't finish it 2 weeks ago.
God damn.
I almost took time off work. I wasn't even gonna buy it, and then I couldn't stop hearing about it. And
That's
now
right.
when I pull into my parking lot, I can see my neighbors playing it through the window. Not that I watch my neighbors through the window.
So I pulled up a chair and I just sat there.
There's a guy that lives here, and I can see his computer screen from the parking lot every time I pull in, and he's always watching streams and playing video games.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just so I still want to do eventually with at least like if not the 4 people who were on the last podcast, then like a group of 4 people who have like played and finished the game, like a spoiler cast of Elden Ring once we're all done with it, because I just think it'll be interesting to see like how our opinions and everything and experiences have developed since the since the beginning, like because it's honestly such a long game. I don't think I've ever played a game that was this long that wasn't like bloated with like just other shit, or either that or it was like a game that you know, that kind of has like a multiplayer game or like a roguelike game that has like, you know, playthroughs or like different runs or playthroughs or games. Like just one playthrough is just so astronomically long of this game. It's insane.
But it's I mean, it's the same with all of the Souls games that I'm aware of, where the different plot paths you can do them all in one playthrough pretty much. And then at the end of the game, you decide which ending cutscene you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all of them unlocked. So story-wise, I don't have really much else to do that I'm aware of, but
Did you this is the last thing
do
I'll
wanna-
talk about gameplay wise. Did you beat the one boss?
I beat one or two bosses, I
Did
think.
did you beat like the really hard end game boss, like the not the final boss, but like the optional one at the
The one that was in all
at
like
the
the
tree.
promotional material?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious because there are some people who have done everything else in the game and still can't beat her. So, which I find interesting.
Oh.
I haven't even gotten to her yet, but
I didn't think she was that hard, but I also used a Ash summon and I don't know, I clapped her pretty hard.
did you use the mimic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they nerfed it since you did that.
Which is good. I'm doing Journey 2 and I'm not using the mimic for that one.
Okay.
So
Well, anyways,
I might as
that's
well
all I
just
really
try
wanted to say about the gameplay. I just was curious if you had beat it because like it is honestly one of the like longest and most kind of like arduous first playthroughs I've ever had of a game ever.
I would not to be like spoilery, just generally speaking, in order to unlock all the endings, you do have to kill her. Actually, to cancel out one of the endings that you've already started, you have to kill her.
Okay. Interesting.
So
That's fine. That's not for me that's not really a spoiler. I was going to do all the shit anyways because I just play games like that. And honestly, once I get there and start attempting to fight her, I'm going to just get stun locked into it like I did with the last optional boss I got stuck on. So,
Yeah.
you know how it goes. But anyways, I didn't really want to talk so much about the gameplay because we did that last time, and I think we're going to probably do it again next time. What I did want to talk about was that developers fucking hate this game, and it's kind of funny.
They're so mad.
Specifically,
And
the
I'm playing
developers
Horizon
of
too. Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West, which came out like a week before Elden Ring did, were just shitting on this game. Like, here, I'll pull up the image, and it's already in our channel on Discord if you guys want to see it. But here is the. Yeah, so this guy said, the fact that Elden Ring scored a 97 Metacritic is proof that reviewers don't give a flaming poop about game UX. My life is a lie. Nor PC, and then someone responded, nor PC graphics stability and performance, apparently. And then someone else responded, nor quest design, really. Which,
Yeah.
the funniest thing about that is that none of that is really, like, inherently untrue. The PC port does kind of suck. The UI is maybe intentionally obtuse, and the quest.
The UI is that bad.
Isn't that kind of? I mean, this is coming from somebody that hasn't played it, but it's pretty trademark Souls, right? For the UI.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's better. It's better.
It's an improvement.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it is
Okay.
roughly the same.
The main menu and like the kind of like system menus have literally not changed since the beginning. Like you could go back to the first Dark Souls and the menus look pretty much the same. It's the inventory's better and like the stats menu and stuff and like
Okay.
all of that stuff has improved pretty substantially. There's also like just a lot more shit in this game that you have to keep track of. And generally, I think they did a fine job with it, considering that like when you pick up an item, it doesn't like explain what it does. Like you kind of just have to go like read about it yourself and figure out what it does. Sometimes like they still did a pretty good job like keeping everything kind of ordered. And I agree that I don't think it's that bad, but it's not like world class either.
No, it's a issue that's pretty consistent with games designed for console, for somebody using a controller on a couch across the room, as opposed to people that like PC menus can be much more precise and fleshed out like per screen, and you can put a lot of items there. But it's like The Witcher, where they did improve it in later updates, but you know, you're not expected to have your face smashed against the screen for most of their players. So it is what it is.
I forget what Skyrim's UI and inventory looked like before Sky UI.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a mod more like important and influential than Sky UI? I mean, like maybe, but I feel like that might be the most like the most important mod. Like at least to any like modern game. Like it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that like to say that, and I first of all, let me preface this by saying I don't think there's anything wrong if you don't like Elden Ring, but there's something like particularly funny about other devs scoffing at the success of the game instead of looking at what can we learn from this, right?
So here's like the funny thing is, you know, we always say like Horizon Zero Dawn looked like a Ubisoft open world, like the cookie cutter thing.
It does.
I'm playing it, and it is an Ubisoft game. I refuse to believe that anybody but Ubisoft made that fucking game. It has towers to go like reveal the map.
That was going to be my first question.
Yeah, I mean, the towers walk around, but they're still towers, and they're annoying because you have to jump onto them and you have to like stand on a ledge and wait for the tower to come to you and shit. It's just annoying. The quest is bland. I don't know what's going on. I haven't read I read 3 sentences of dialogue, and then the game just holds your hand throughout everything. So why pay attention to the story? Elden Ring, you have to pay attention to figure out like what's going on and where people are going to be. Maybe a little too much.
Too much, yeah.
Like you have to take notes.
It's a very fair criticism of Elden Ring, but
yeah, but then Horizon Zero Dawn's on completely the other side of the coin, where it's like my dog could follow the story because you get a waypoint, you go there, you kill the exact same monster you killed at the last or machine that you kill at the last waypoint. So it's like they're salty that Elden Ring isn't doing the modern Ubisoft approach of making it accessible to everyone in every way possible.
Yeah, and I think Elden Ring even has some really positive improvements to like the Souls formula in terms of accessibility too, because it's by far the easiest to like pick up and play and like, you know, enjoy for new like people who are new to the series and From Software's games. So like I don't know. I just think that like, you know, ignoring the fact that like what they were able to do in terms of accessibility without like a difficulty slider and you know, a million pop-ups on screen telling you exactly what to do, like to just willingly ignore that seems really ignorant in my mind, especially from a dev of a similar game who are just like, I hate to say it, but seemingly mad that their game didn't do as well as other game. Like, it doesn't matter what the game was. It's just like, it just seems like
this should be their chance to learn that the industry has been moving in a direction that players don't necessarily actually like. Like, yeah, you can move a lot of copies, but it doesn't stand out to anyone.
Yeah, I mean,
it's forgettable. Not Elden Ring. That one, Elden Ring's pretty memorable.
No.
But I'll forget Horizon Zero Dawn next week.
Yeah, well, and to be fair, like I don't know about Horizon Forbidden West. Literally the only like piece of media I've engaged with about it was Skill Up's review of it, and Skill Up is a reviewer who I think makes really good videos that I really trust, and he loved that game and highly recommended it. So, but it's just like it's a PlayStation exclusive, first of all, which I don't have a PlayStation, so I kind of like watched that video and then immediately purged it from my mind and like filed it away to play at some later date. But yeah, I just was kind of like, is what it is. It looks fine. even if it's the best one, it's of all the Ubisoft open world games, which again, not a Ubisoft game. I need to keep reminding myself that.
It's a conspiracy. I swear to God, Ubisoft made that game, and it's all a front. They sold it under another name to try to trick people into thinking they weren't buying another Ubisoft open world.
Is it a Square Enix? Is that who made that one?
It's Gorilla Games. Is that their name? And I believe they're just Sony.
The first 3 hours of gameplay is actually pretty good. Because the combat system is good. It's like Monster Hunter World in a lot of ways.
Yeah, that's what bit that I played of it. I remember really liking the combat and the bows and the different.
Yeah. It's
good,
but
cool.
then it's repetitive, and it's just that you do that exact same thing for the next million hours of exploring towers and finding collectibles. So
yeah.
It's very much just do the critical path and like maybe the side quest, fuck the collectibles and all that.
I feel like developers like even took the wrong lessons from The Witcher 3, which like is first of all is a great open world game. It is also a bloated game.
Yes.
But I feel like they took the wrong lessons from that. Instead of making like a really compelling and driving like central narrative, they were like, oh, people just love having a shit ton of stuff to do. Like people love just coming home and instead of playing a fun video game, they just love doing jobs. Like
just grinding at meaningless shit to, fill a status bar on a quest.
Right. They didn't
clearing
like
every single question mark on the map.
Yeah,
Right.
they didn't take any of like the quality from those encounters, and like even those a lot of those question marks were like totally pointless in The Witcher, but like you cleared them with the promise of like 1 in 5 of them being like something interesting, basically. And when they were good, they were really good. But I can't say the same.
Sorry to say, that's how the catacombs are in Elden Ring.
Yeah,
You're like, I have to do this because there might be a weapon in here that I'm going to use, and this is the only place it ever appears in the entire game, so I have to check. And then it's boring, and you get a smithing stone.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm
not that bad.
I'm definitely not saying
It's
it's
not a
perfect in that regard either. But
No.
I think we can dive into that next time when we actually do like the spoiler cast. Yeah, they're basically chalice dungeons to my understanding from Bloodborne. I liked some of them though. Like they're certainly
some of
not
them
all
are great.
bad, but
They're
yeah.
fun at first because it's new.
Yeah, I mean, just like the legacy dungeons alone make up basically an entire Dark Souls game. Like, and more even. Who else is excited for
Stormvale,
Stanley
Lando.
Parable Ultra Deluxe? Yeah, did you guys see that actually? I wanted to briefly touch on this. Yeah, they're releasing a new version of the Stanley Parable with like just new content, basically. I think. I think it's the same game, but it just has like new content on top of it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play that game again. I did like all the endings, but it's been long enough that like I think I would really enjoy playing that game again.
That was
I
what,
only
like
really remember the
2013?
core like main endings. Yeah.
There was actually
I remember,
something.
like, playing that in the fucking like
2012.
cafeteria in high school.
Do you remember why you
original
played
mods-
it in the cafeteria in high school?
I was probably on Parker's laptop.
Yeah, but do you remember why? We did a psychology project surrounding that game, and so I was actually talking because this came up in my Discord today. I was talking about how I did a psychology project on the original version of the Stanley Parable. So like the source mod, the free source mod version, like before the like original like full release version. I don't know how much do you remember of that project, Parker? Because I was like digging through
a lot of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was
classes and pulling people out to go play video games in the hallway.
It was a highlight of like high school academia for me, because all my other like highlights of high school were like extracurricular shit, but like that was one of like the things that I did in high school that I was like legitimately proud of, because I remember we had I won't dox our teacher or our school, but we had a teacher who was older, like she was an older woman, but she was very like well liked and highly regarded. And we didn't really know how she would feel about us doing a project based around video games, because she was kind of a boomer. But she was like ecstatic about it. She was like, yeah, it sounds great. And so we just got to do like whatever we wanted, basically. And
well, and we actually picked a topic that hadn't been like beaten to death, and like the way we
Mhm.
actually studied it.
yeah,
So
we
yeah,
basically
that was
were
fun to do.
the premise was that we were looking to see if people who had a lot of experience playing video games were more conditioned to be rule followers in games. Basically, that was kind of the because the premise was that the narrator in Stanley Parable would tell you what to do, and then you could either essentially do it or not do it. And in that original source version, it was really easy to because it was basically like you either just do the thing or you don't do the thing. Like there was no real like secrets or like alternative branching paths. It was either like you did what the narrator said or you didn't do what the narrator said. And so we would just record what choices were made. And then I believe we had like a survey too that would ask people about like how often they play video games and what kind of video games they played, and we were going to draw conclusions based off of that. And I believe that our finding was kind of mixed, but more so that people who play more games are more likely to not follow the rules. But I think more so that we believed that having played more video games made you more likely to want to explore and like poke the boundaries versus
the
not
type of
having
games
experience.
people played mattered too. Like people that played a lot of just like straightforward, like if you. This sounds like I'm disparaging people that play Call of Duty, and I am. No,
Fuck them.
but like if you're just like a COD player, right? You're not maybe don't do as much of like the open world exploration kind of thing. So people that played like Oblivion were more interested in going the wrong way to see what was there. Whereas people that played no games were like, oh, I follow the instructions. That's how you play the game.
It's funny that you say Oblivion as if this was like 2012, as if everyone and their dog wasn't playing Skyrim around that time. Like, I think Skyrim might have been
2011. That was 2011.
2011. Yeah.
I was gonna say Skyrim, and then I was like, no, Skyrim came out later in the year, but that was the year before.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's just I think
playing
it
on
was
my laptop in the
2012.
theater.
Yeah. So like I think one of the
That's what I
most
remember.
common responses that we got asking people like what games they played was Skyrim, because like everyone was playing it. Just literally everyone was playing it. But
That was the first time I saw that game was in the theater lobby in high school watching Parker.
Skyrim
on his
it
laptop.
ran like
yeah.
complete shit.
I remember that.
Amazing.
It was so poorly optimized when it came out. I was getting like 10 frames a second.
Yeah.
And then day one patch, and it jumped up to like 30 frames, which was playable on my laptop. So
what a game, man.
yeah,
It's crazy.
I'm curious how many hours I have in that. Not as much as I kind of would think I would. Just kidding.
How much is it?
Oh, never mind. Okay. So in original Skyrim, I have 487. In special edition, I have 130.
Yo,
so not even as much as like Fallout 4.
Everybody drop your Skyrim playtime.
And 6.6 hours in Skyrim VR.
I have between the original like Skyrim Legendary Edition and Skyrim Special Edition, I have 260 hours. Which
I
is
don't even remember
several playthroughs.
Wait, didn't Legendary Edition like morph into Special Edition?
I have both of them in my library. What game are we talking about? Skyrim.
I think I should, but I don't. Because Legendary. Wait, so do you have just like original Skyrim?
I have 2 copies of Skyrim in my library.
You have, I do too. I have Skyrim and Skyrim Special Edition.
Yeah, the original one is just Legendary Edition. Legendary Edition was just the regular Skyrim, but it came with
It doesn't say that in Steam for me that it's Legendary Edition.
No, it doesn't for me either. But that's kind of the distinction that modders use. Basically, is like Legendary Edition is like the fully patched non-special edition, and then Special Edition is like never beat it. I think Garrett has 400 hours and he never beat it.
This says I have 40 hours of playtime, but that's definitely not true.
Did you play it on console?
I did play it on console quite a bit. But it honestly wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be, like on PlayStation 3 on console.
No, I mean at the time it was a at the time it was.
That's where I clocked all my hours was on PS3.
I remember Cam bringing his PS3 to my house, and we looked at Ayla the Huntress's lower back.
Good evening.
That PS triple.
Allow me to show you The Witcher. Bro, literally the first thing you see
The
in The Witcher
thirst.
2 is Triss's tits.
Oh god.
Which honestly, I feel like we looked.
Triss's or
4K.
Yennefer's?
Yennefer's not even in The Witcher 2.
Oh, just to show you how much I played Witcher 2.
I remember pulling that up on Jacob's 4K monitor, and this is when 4K was like just
Brand
becoming,
new, yeah.
like
Oh yeah, and
and
it
it was
ran like a
super fun,
fucking
dude.
slideshow.
it was, and all he would
That
play on it was Terraria with his face pressed up against the
Oh
screen.
my god.
That was
That
crazy.
monitor, like I remember Max complaining about it.
Yeah, you would do it in the middle of the night while Max was trying
And
to
then-
sleep.
Your
And I was
guys'
like, dude, it can't be
dorms where
that
you
bad.
could-
And I walked in there one night at like midnight, and it was like, Jesus Christ, it is bright as daylight
Yeah.
in here. Like, it was so
Yeah,
fucking bright.
For reference, this was Max, who's been on the podcast before. It was his college roommate who had a 4K TV that he played PC games on as a monitor, and his sleep schedule was he didn't have a sleep schedule. Basically, he would just stay up until he got tired, and then he would go to sleep, and which
way
led to
that
him
guy
playing
played
Terraria at
Minecraft.
3 a.m. many times while Max was trying to sleep. So yeah.
Yikes.
Like a
Um,
44-inch 4K monitor in 2013.
It was the smallest one he could buy, but yeah, it was still massive. And he sat it on his desk. Like but it was so tall. And he would sit right at the desk like he had a normal monitor. Like
this far from
I have a
it.
27-inch monitor. 27-inch monitors are on the big side. And I'm still like I sit a ways back from it. Yeah. Speaking of open world games, did you guys see the Harry Potter game?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
so I watched the
Hot
state of play
I'm so
video right
confused
before hopping
inside.
on here. And I got major Arkham vibes from
It's
it.
the same developer.
Well, it's made by.
Right, I know it's
it-
Warner Brothers and
It'll make
what,
you really
Raven?
feel like Harry Potter.
Right. But the very like opening footage that they have of the guy like walking up to that ledge, and you get like the panoramic like view of Hogwarts. That is straight out of Arkham City.
Mm.
Or like really any of the Arkham games where like you get like the sweeping expanse like
Big
view of the city,
shot
like
yeah.
I haven't admittedly played as much of those games as I probably should have, the Arkham games. I tried playing Arkham Asylum and it just didn't grab me. But I've heard that Arkham City is really, really well liked.
yeah.
Especially.
I never played Arkham Knight, which is like the last one.
Yeah,
but
like the
I
third
played
one.
the shit out of Arkham City. It was great.
Yeah.
You definitely almost watch the combat more than like participate in it, but it's satisfying because it's so smooth. Like they
Yeah.
blend all the animations together so well, and those aren't new games. It's pretty
it-
technically impressive.
Yeah, I think it depends on like the difficulty settings you have it at and how good you are at like
Yeah.
maintaining like button
How
combos and
good you
stuff.
are at
but-
right clicking when the symbol comes up to right click.
Oh, I guess
Oh, it's a rhythm
played
game.
it on console. But, yeah.
Yeah, it is actually kind of a rhythm game.
Yeah.
It's more about maintaining your rhythm in the fight and then using gadgets at good times. It actually
Yeah.
plays like the Witcher and like Horizon Zero Dawn and like Assassin's Creed and all the other games where you right click to parry.
Combat wise.
Yeah. But the game itself it's good.
Yeah, that Harry Potter thing is going to be interesting.
But
I
that
know,
game
but
has a
the
lot of
combat
like
was pretty fleshed out.
the combat honestly looked pretty impressive. Like
Yeah.
I was kind of like, okay, they got like a lot of spells and stuff. Did you guys ever play the old Harry Potter PC games?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Like
god.
the one where you had to actually draw the spells to cast them. I remember that game really fondly, but I feel like if I went back to it, I would be like, this is some hot dog shit.
If you could get it to run on anything,
Yeah.
I've seen people try. It's not easy. I've always wanted to start a human being on fire in the Harry Potter world.
Yeah.
And you can do that. So there you go.
Well,
But
yeah,
it
they
looks so much better than I thought it would.
they
It
kind of
looks really
danced
good.
around it at the end, but they sort of said in that trailer like, oh, you can become evil, basically. Like,
Yeah,
but they
well,
kind
one
of
of
just
the,
dropped that at the end, like randomly.
There's some forbidden spells cast during the like trailer.
Yeah, yeah.
avocado cadabra or whatever.
Avocado cadaver.
Avocado cadaver.
But yeah, the combat looked good to me. Like I don't know. There's I'm not like in like RPGs, kind of like the over the shoulder like third person RPGs. I'm not normally like a spellcaster type. Even like Skyrim, I kind of do like a battle mage because I like at the end of the day having the option to just beat the shit out of someone when my mana bar depletes. And in Souls games, I like it's all about melee combat for me. But they actually made it look pretty cool in that game, the like spellcasting combos and stuff, and like they even gave your guy like a dodge with iframes and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, they actually like thought about this shit. It's pretty impressive.
Even if the combat's not super good, it looks like a fun game to just like explore and sink time into.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of how Batman was.
It probably won't be super hard because they've got the whole like base building, farming, like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing aspect to it. But
well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if it's kind of like base building in Fallout, where it's like some people are gonna go nuts with it, and everyone else is gonna put beds down in the street, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, why is this a feature?
It honestly didn't look super graphically impressive.
It was stylized.
It looked fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of agree. Like, I mean, that's been a big knock to Elden Ring as well, is that it's not like on the bleeding edge of graphics. But Elden Ring, in my opinion, looks very nice. Like, just it has very consistent kind of like stylistic vision that I think it achieves. It's hard to say from the trailer of the Harry Potter game, but I could say a similar thing about it. What I at least saw from that.
Yeah.
Souls games kind of need bare bones graphics to be like visually, I don't know what word I'm looking for, like distinct, like clear, like you can see what's going on. One thing I've noticed playing Horizon is it's full of bloom and lens flare, and you can't see what the hell's going on half the time. You'll get hit by a car headlight. Like, whereas Elden Ring, you kind of feel like it's your fault if you don't see something coming.
You can't turn that off?
No, you can't turn off bloom or lens flare or anything.
Wow.
This is
I
a
hate
game
that.
about shooting little weak points with your bow in like slow-mo, and they blind you all the time with bright
like
lights.
that.
That's crazy.
It's so annoying. You can't see shit half the time.
I'm a big fan. Well, I shouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I can tolerate some tasteful like depth of field like in a game like.
Be okay.
But it's the worst when you have to like zoom in on something or look at something in the distance and it's fucking blurry. It's like the human eye does not work like that. Like this is a camera.
Metal Gear Solid 5 had it really bad where if you looked through a scope, it would take like a second for the blur to go away. So like if you needed to pull off a really quick shot, you couldn't. It would be blurry. You had to turn off depth of field for that to not happen.
Oh, I was going to say it might be like a realism thing because like realistically when you focus on something, it takes a second for your eyes to adjust, but like you couldn't.
I mean, it takes a second to look through a scope, but it won't.
Yeah, right. That's what I was gonna say. Is like you couldn't like quick scope in real life like you can in Call of Duty. But
no, it's just it feels really weird in Metal Gear Solid. Like I don't have a problem with there being like an animation time.
Well,
but it's like I'm blind.
Yeah, and you saying that if you turn off the depth of field, it doesn't do that makes me think that it's probably not an intentional feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like the last thing I was expecting out of gaming this year was to see a good Harry Potter game. Yeah,
a Harry Potter game that is going to exist, and I look forward to.
That's
like the thing I really didn't expect.
Right.
Like,
it's definitely going to be like a wait for reviews situation, but
for sure.
Yeah.
But it looks good, which is more than I could say about most games. Period. Let alone a Harry Potter game.
Can we get a PS1 Hagrid like RTX filter on?
Wait, I have something to show you guys.
You know that's going to be a mod.
Is it PS1 Hagrid?
It has something to do with PS1 Hagrid. I found a game on itch that I really want to play called Escape PS1 Hagrid. And it's like a PSX styled horror game where you are being chased by Hagrid.
Oh, God.
Here, I'll send it in the Discord.
Lol scrubs at itch.io. Oh my god, it actually looks kind of scary.
Does it? And it looks good too. Like it has like shaders and stuff. Like it actually looks here. Pull up the proper Escape PS1 Hagrid. Look at this.
It totally just looks like from the link you sent. It looks like somebody just made that image as like a meme, but no,
I think
there's a whole
it's a
game.
full game, and it has like pretty good like reviews and stuff on itch. Which like is it's the lowest of low bars in the gaming world is to have good reviews on itch, but but still I'm like I kind of want to play this. Lego Harry Potter games were the best Harry Potter games. That's probably
survival
true.
horror, platforming, fighting, and a boss fight.
So yeah, I feel like that's one that I need to one day when I have nothing else to do on stream. One that I need to spin up.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave this tab open.
Oh man,
That's hilarious.
what was the other thing? Oh yeah, we actually talked a little bit about The Witcher, but The Witcher 4 got fucking announced.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, that's on our list.
And CD Projekt Red is ditching their engine, their proprietary. Their
Oh no.
Oh, are they?
the
I
Red
didn't know if
engine.
they,
They're
Yeah.
going to Unreal.
Unreal. Yep, they're moving to Unreal.
I like their engine.
Yeah, I've never got the impression that the engine was like what was holding them back. Like even with Cyberpunk, I think it was more of their like ambitions that kind of held that game back than the.
Yeah, that, and I was just reading about
I didn't even think about Cyberpunk. I was just thinking about how The Witcher looks good.
in
Yeah.
stark contrast
But,
to
yeah.
Cyberpunk, they have like come out and said like right away that they don't intend to start releasing anything about the game until, you know, I think they said like much closer to launch or something. I think that was like a deliberate point at how much they hyped up Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and even announcing the game at all was probably like push from the shareholders to like get the stock back up because it fucking
The
tanked after
studio was
Cyberpunk.
doing something besides trying to recover from Cyberpunk.
They did also quietly confirm Cyberpunk DLC is being worked on though, which is nice because I still will play DLC for that game, and I enjoyed that game. I've talked about it on the podcast before. I like that game. It's definitely not everything I ever hoped it would be, but again, like you know, the expectations were wild for that game. So I bought it when it launched. Didn't have that many issues with it, and I enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, like for the sake of everyone else, I think right now they're on like the 1.5 patch, which was supposed to be like the big patch that kind of fixed a lot of shit. I think there was like their patch notes are like comically long at this point. It's like, who is going to read all of this? And even then it's like you scroll to the bottom of like 2,000 like bullet points on patch notes. And then it's like, and many more. And then it just ends. But
Props to them though for putting in the work. Like,
yeah, I mean, they've caught some flack for how long it took to get to this point, which is crazy when you think about that. Like they were probably still a year out from the game being like ready to release when they actually did release it. But which makes you wonder like what the fuck was going on.
not only that, but how much shit they had to cut along the way because they realized they couldn't do it.
Yeah, that game is still like decently impressive in scope, I think at least. But yeah, there's definitely seams where things were pretty clearly cut or pared back. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the weirdest like release cycles of a game that I've ever experienced. But like, I still hope that game like ends up being kind of well regarded because I think that a lot of the stuff that it's doing well, and that I hope that other people can sort of experience for for what it is, like without the filter of like it's buggy and doesn't run well
PR
and
backlash.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite things about? What would keep you coming back to it? Because I guess maybe I'm looking for a reason to revisit it.
I think that it's one of the coolest environments that I've ever seen in a game. First of all, I've never seen like a city of that scale that actually like feels large, like pulled off before. Even like people were comparing the game a lot to like to Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto does not feel like LA does not feel like LA. You know, obviously it's Los Santos, but yeah, it's quite small.
It's not super like deep or detailed either. It's pretty flat. Like from a, I guess, visual and like immersion perspective.
Yeah. The story was really good, I think.
I still haven't finished it.
I think a lot of people I don't think the story really gets like a lot of flack. I think most people who have played and finished the game, even if they hated everything else, generally like
I
think
think
that
the
the
main
story is pretty
complaint
good.
is that there's not as many like branching paths or options as
That's
what
true,
people
yeah.
wanted, but it's still it's a really good story, but there
Um,
isn't that many choices to be made.
I enjoyed the like skills and building like character building stuff that were in that game, like just the RPG qualities. Like there are some people who I assume just haven't played the game that say it's quote unquote not an RPG. It's definitely an RPG, like
it totally is.
by
Yeah.
almost every like measure. I think what they mean is that there's just no like actual like character role playing, which there's not none, but there's less than maybe some people wanted. But the actual skill system, despite some flaws, there were some skills that are pretty useless, or did like some that just straight up didn't do anything. Which I think they've fixed now as of the latest patch. I think everything works, and like they even rebalanced some of the skills. But I liked it. I mean, there's a lot you can do with like the cyberware and hacking stuff that I thought was pretty fun. I enjoyed stealth in that game. It was basically like Cyberpunk Dishonored, which is Dishonored is one of my favorite games. Period. So that's pretty high praise. When everything was working, it definitely was like a comparable experience stealth wise, and there was a pretty good like weapon variety and stuff that I enjoyed. I don't know. I like it. It's basically like open world Deus Ex. Or Cyberpunk Witcher. It's basically like the only way I can describe it. Which, if that sounds cool to you, then you'll probably find something to like in that game.
Yeah, I got maybe, I don't know, 20 hours into it, and just kind of fizzled out.
And in 20 hours, you haven't even really left the like starting area.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you made it that far into the game and you just straight up didn't like it, then you might just not like it.
All those hours were pre-big patch. Was it 1.5?
Were you having issues with it? Like
That, and
performance?
honestly, man, the combat was just such a fucking yawner. Like,
Oh, really? I mean, I think it's fine. I think there was some settings that made combat better for me. Like there's one that makes your gun actually like follow your crosshair instead of having like random like jiggle. Which was kind of, it made it easier for me to tell where I was aiming, because like by default it kind of just like sprays all over the place.
yeah, and I do remember reading in the patch notes for 1.5 that they reworked a lot of the enemy AI too.
Yeah, the AI in like active combat was pretty dumb, which is like at some point it's like dumb AI is like can still be fun because you can just fuck around with them, like, and especially in a game where you're just like supposed to be like a powerful like cyber assassin, like it's almost desirable to not have the smartest AI. But yeah, I read that as well. I haven't played it since the big patch either, but I mean I honestly enjoyed the combat before as well. But it was always good, like for me at least, to play like a mix of like stealth and active combat. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not. I'm not going to sit here and say that the game is the greatest thing ever. I liked it a lot, but I can definitely like. There are arguments out there as to why it's not a good game that I totally am like. I'm not going to dispute that because you're not wrong. I just liked it despite some of its flaws.
Yeah.
Well, I know that some people just in general had a much worse experience technically, like especially if you're on console. But even people that played on PC with decent hardware, it was a flip of the coin if it ran okay.
Yeah.
How well
Yeah,
your
it didn't
processor was
run
handling it
super great.
definitely affected how AI and everything worked. So
yeah, that's
like
the worst part too. Is it seems like the bugs kind of explode when you start to have like performance dips. Like like some of it's tied to the performance somehow, or was. I don't know if it's fixed.
People with streets full of T-posing citizens was very much like a processor thing because it just couldn't handle all of them. So it would just put them into their little default state, and then they'd sit there. But I never saw that. I don't have the best PC in the world, but it's pretty good, especially my processor. So
Well, I think having performance issues can really kind of like can wear on you too, and like if you're liking parts of the game, it might like if you're just like not even able to play it in the way it's intended, like you might just end up disliking it anyways. Like
take the whole experience for sure.
I definitely think the game would have been received differently if it hadn't been for the whole like release fiasco, especially with the console versions. Like the PC version was one thing, like, and it sucks that some people had problems with it, but PC releases are kind of just like that too. Not to that extent, but the console versions and consoles are all the same. All you have to do is make sure it runs on that console. You don't have to test it on a multitude of hardware. You just have to make sure it runs on that console, and they couldn't even do that, which is kind of pathetic. PS4, not PS3. God no.
Yeah, sorry. PS4 and PS5. I'm
right.
Y'all ain't ready for PS2 Cyberpunk 2077.
I feel like PS5 still hasn't set in really because like nobody can get one.
Nobody
still.
can fucking get one.
I mean, are they even real?
I know. Well, you can get like the new Xbox now, but PS5 still, for some reason, it seems like people can't get. Like, you can even go like you can walk into a Micro Center and buy like 30 series graphics cards. Like they have them now, like in stock.
I've only ever seen 3050s and 3060s.
Wow.
What was that Kenny was saying?
I said 30 series.
Yeah, you did. You sure enough did.
But yeah,
Kenny
you're
was
right.
saying where you had to like buy a membership with Best Buy to
that
like,
is some
buy
other
a PS5.
Shit. Yeah, so that's like their.
That's pretty wild.
They called it like their tech something. It's
you
pretty
just
much
get like early.
Yeah, you can.
You get put in front of the line if you're part of their little club. You pay
Exactly.
$120 fucking dollars. Who the hell even spends $120 at Best Buy in a given year?
If you're buying a PS5, I guess
Are they
you
still
do.
are they still afloat? I keep thinking they're gone.
Yeah, they're actually they came back a lot because they
Didn't they?
started like price matching people and they cut their inventory from like selling fucking printers in their store to like actually shit people buy.
I will say that one of the best like and I have I don't even care about Best Buy at all. They're actually technically based in Minneapolis, but
Yeah, they are.
But
They have a cool building.
Yeah, they do have a cool office. But yeah, I was looking for a new mouse, a Logitech mouse, and the only place that had it in stock and for the best price, I might add, was Best Buy. And I ordered it from Best Buy, and I was like, this will just show up eventually. It showed up within 24 hours. Like, I don't know if it was just coming from, like, corporate or what, but, like, it showed up in 24 hours, and then it was defective, and I sent it back, and then another one showed up in 24 hours. I had, like, the best fucking... Yeah, I don't know. I had the best shipping experience ever with Best Buy, though. I was like, that's like pretty much unbeatable, unless they had hand delivered it like an hour later. I don't know how much better that could get.
It was the guy's mouse that took your order. He just
Yeah.
There was that when I found out Amazon does same day for free when you remember a certain item. So I bought something at like 5 p.m. and they delivered it at 7. I was like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
How did they?
Crazy.
How did they even process this in time?
Yeah. But yeah, Best Buy. To even things out a little bit, Best Buy had one of the worst experiences ever when I was trying to buy a 3070, which I ended up walking into a Micro Center and getting it the same day it released. But that I didn't think that would be a possibility, so I checked Best Buy in the morning, and they were releasing 3070s in waves, and so you would see them available. Like they would open the floodgates, you could put it in your cart. But then if they closed the floodgates before you could check out, it would give you an error and automatically remove it from your cart. So you would have to go back and do it again. And like the whole site was like bugging out. Like sometimes it just wouldn't refresh at all. Like I was just like, oh my God, like surely Best Buy can come up with a better scheme than this. And not only that, but like the idea of it was to deter scalpers from buying them. But what ended up happening was that only the scalpers would be able to buy them because they had like bots and shit just like designed to scoop them up. Like, and so nobody was able to get one because you just couldn't even get on the website. Like, it was ridiculous.
Hey, Best Buy, I mean, $200 a month or whatever for the pro placement. Cheap price to play when I can scalp 5 of them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess that's
they're
true.
the only people paying for it. The people that know they can make their money back.
Yeah, right. You think Best Buy's like they're probably just raking in the money from that? I mean,
Cold
that has to
bros
be
in the
why
office.
they're adding those perks like that, is because that's the only reason people will buy something like that. Because nobody wants to commit to buying all their electronics in one spot. Like, not when Amazon
No.
exists. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
and I
Or
don't even
Micro
fucking.
Center, especially
Micro
like for
Center.
us that we're fortunate enough to have one close by.
I know.
God,
Yeah,
I wish
that.
I had a micro center by me. It's just, oh,
It's a dangerous
so
place.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Every time I walk in there, I spend about $500 more than I planned. I'll go there to buy a keyboard and spend $600 on something.
Rebuild your
else.
PC.
Yeah,
Oops, I accidentally
buy
rebuilt
another-
my PC.
Buy an $800 processor or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I need a new case because I can't fit all that shit in my current one anymore. I do need a new case. Probably end up getting another graphics card while I'm at it. That's not true. I have a 2080. That'll last me a while.
Yeah, you'll be
Oh, yeah,
fine.
you got time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the 40 series is about to be unveiled, I believe.
Shut up. Actually, seriously, though, my 2080
still on the
maxes
one.
out almost everything. Like, I don't know what I would be doing with a 4080.
No, yeah, 2080 is
or a
probably
40
fine.
anything.
What do you have, Evan? Like 10 series?
I'm on a 1080. Yeah.
Oh, 1080, yeah. 1080
And
will
it's
probably
running
still be
really
fine.
well.
I was
those
starting
are no
to
slouches. For
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I was starting to feel the
Unless
limits of my 1070. But yeah, I gave it to Britta, so she's got my 1070 now, and she could run mostly everything she wants, which is like House Flipper and shit like that.
Awesome.
And sometimes Skyrim. She's played I think, what did she say, 6.2 hours of Skyrim.
Nice.
And unless they make a really big improvement, unless you're going from like a 1080 to a 2080 to a 3080, like if you try to go like 2080 to 3070, like you're probably not even making an upgrade. Like it has to be
Yeah.
a big improvement. So
Well, am I crazy, or are they running through generations faster now? Because I swear, like
that was really fast.
the 1070
We're
was
also getting
not.
older and time's going faster.
That's true as well, but
Shut
I
up.
think I got my
Stop it.
1070
Don't
in
remind me.
I know.
2017 was when I bought my 1070, and it wasn't even new.
Skyrim
It
came
wasn't
out
even brand new
like
then. I
10
think it
years
was like
ago.
a year or so old.
Yeah, the 1080 is 6 years old now.
And then the 20 series came out, and then like the 30 series, it felt like kind of a normal amount of time. And then if it is true that they're releasing the 40 series this year, I feel like they cranked that out fast.
I'm just
does
amazed
seem
they
really
can
fun.
with all of the silicon shortages and stuff right now.
Right.
I think it's
a
getting
timetable
better
for-
now though.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're
'Cause
pushing
crypto
it out
crashed
so that
again.
there's less people trying to buy 30 series and less strain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly,
Trying
I
to
think
buy
it's
40s instead.
I think they're doing it just to keep the pump on the stock price going, because they've benefited massively, like even during this whole shortage, which is insane.
Right.
I
Well, I
was
mean-
always confused why like Nvidia wanted to like quell the mining craze. Like why? It makes them so much money. Like why would they want that
They
to
don't
not be a
as much
thing?
like they're not
They
putting their
make
money where
so
their
much
mouth is
money.
on it. That's the
Not
thing.
only like
Yeah.
gaming and mining are like, I don't even know if like, so I mean they're not their only markets. Like people use GPUs as
Yeah.
compute
Drafting.
units for
And
yeah, I
computer
mean,
rendering.
for, like rendering workstations,
And that's
Right, yeah.
that's
like,
an
number
entirely
crunching,
different
like-
series of products that they make too, like the Quadro.
Yeah, that's
It's not
true.
even,
Those
you don't even
workstation
use those
cards.
for gaming. Yeah.
Enterprise
Not only in that, but like
workstation
not
stuff.
even in PCs, but like fucking Teslas
Mm.
use Nvidia compute units for their
Mhm.
some of their sensor
There's a-
suites and
That
self
Jetson
also-
platform.
Yeah, the
I
Jetson.
will-
Yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I
Mhm.
wouldn't be surprised if game devs that make deals with them for like their special graphics options in games don't want to do that anymore if no one can get their hands on their graphics card. So they might actually have some concern to have gamers buy it. Otherwise, they don't make those deals anymore.
Yeah.
a
That's
good
true.
point, yeah.
That's true. It's not, the situation's not any better with AMD though, so I feel like it's going to be like
I know.
it's just one
People
or the
shit
other.
on Nvidia for like having special graphics options in games, and then like I feel like half the games I play have like a special AMD thing. I'm like,
Well,
this is-
yeah, and AMD has a lot of the like equivalent features, but they're just not as good as
Well,
at
and
marketing as Nvidia is.
Mm.
what's funny about it too is you probably won't notice the difference anyway. It's
Right.
like none of them are substantial. Like
No.
you get like Nvidia Hairworks and it's fine.
Well,
it makes your computer start on fire.
I will say
Like,
that at
whatever.
this point, I don't think I would consider going to an AMD card because for streaming, I use the Nvidia encoder, which
Yeah.
AMD does. There is an equivalent, but it's way worse. And I don't think like unless I move to a computer where I am streaming exclusively on one computer and gaming on another computer, then I don't think I could get away with doing software processing for my streaming. I think it would be too taxing on my machine. And then the other thing is too that like the ray tracing and the DLSS is still far better than what AMD offers as well. So, and that stuff's not just bells and whistles. I mean, the ray tracing kind of is, but the DLSS, now that I've seen it in action, that is the real shit. That's probably the only reason I could even play Cyberpunk 2077 in like full frames on 1440p.
So DLSS is coming to Tarkov pretty soon. The whole soon TM.
Yeah.
Whenever that happens, it's been in the works for a while, but I'm stoked to see that finally implemented. That'll
Mm-hmm.
be cool.
Yeah.
DLSS is cool stuff.
You making like a Bailey's and
Bottle
coffee
was
there?
empty. God damn it. No, it's just such a heavy bottle. I thought it still had stuff in it.
Oh,
mead.
it looked like
Viking
like
blood.
Bailey's. Wow. Okay, mead. Honestly, like mead is even like more interesting than Bailey's and coffee. I honestly didn't realize.
Good old
I thought you just had
cloudy
like a goblet of beer or something. I didn't realize you
This
were.
is all I have of this, and so I'm gonna drink Irish cream instead.
There you go. I
Mason
was
jar
on a
full
long
of
enough
wine.
timeline. I was right.
Yeah, it's not Bailey's though; it's Brady's.
Yeah.
Big old plastic bottle.
Yep.
There you
That's
go.
the good shit. All right. Should we wrap things up, boys?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
fun. Bye. Thanks as always for hanging out. I'm gonna keep streaming. I have some good old Dark Souls cock and ball torture coming up. As I typically do on Wednesdays. It's so fun. I love it. But anyways, thank you guys
Sounds
for.
like you're really enjoying it.
Thank you. Yeah, I am always. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.